Okay!
I'm a lifelong Pokemon fan, Pokemon enthusiast. I'm in no ways an expert. I've never played X and Y, I've only dabbled in Black and White, but I have played every other Pokemon generation there is. I enjoyed Sun and Moon, I had a blast revisiting Gen 1 with Let's Go Pikachu, and I'm even looking forward to Sword and Shield on the Nintendo Switch this fall, just so I can get a cool Pokemon experience on a console. And you know what doesn't get enough credit? Pokemon Coliseum. It's a good game. First console Pokemon game, I count it. It's good. But it seems like everywhere you look now, the Pokemon name is associated with mixed things because of the controversies surrounding Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Again, while I personally have little to no issue going to this generation, I'm expecting what I expect from a Pokemon game at this point. I normally have a team that's mainly one or two people from earlier gens, and then the rest is whatever new the generation brings to the table, but I completely understand where people are coming from with their issues for Sword and Shield. That being said, there's another lifelong franchise I've been kind of familiar with, nowhere near the depths I have been with Pokemon, and that's Digimon. I think I owned one of the weird spin-off Digimon shows. I owned one of those Tamagotchi things. Didn't know how to use it. I think it was Agumon. I'm pretty sure it died. I had a Digimon DS game at some point, I think. I had a PS2 Digimon game. I never really watched the show. I never really watched the movies. I've seen like one or two of them. I've watched Digimon Tamers pretty recently, like when I was studying for finals, and Digimon Tamers is alright. It's pretty cool. I need to go back to finish that, but Digimon has its core, hardcore fans. I know that so many people love Digimon. I know there's some rivalries and some crossover between Digimon and Pokemon, but I think there's a discussion to be had when it comes to 2019 fall on the gaming side of things. Because of all the controversy with Pokemon Sword and Shield, because this is following up Pokemon Let's Go, which was a little divisive and didn't sell super well up to expectation, I think it's not out of the question to say that Digimon could steal some Pokemon thunder this fall. Now, while I think it's foolish to bet against the success and sales of Pokemon, even with all the controversy, and we did see that some of the hardcore fans didn't go in on Let's Go, I think Sword and Shield is a completely different case. A lot of people have Gen 1 fatigue. I get it. I like Gen 1. I wasn't tired when I revisited it. I even replayed Red earlier this year for a series here on the Joyclicks. So people can get excited by the idea of just pure new Pokemon. That's why so many people look fondly on Black and White, because it put aside the history and fully introduced you to 150 brand new Pokemon. And while Black and White allowed you eventually to bring over your historied Pokemon teams, Sword and Shield isn't doing that, as of right now at least. We don't know what the future holds, but as it stands, there is numerous controversies for Sword and Shield. Not only is the National Dex one of them, there's talk of animations being lackluster. This is shared online. Don't know the size, or if it's just an echo chamber or what. I'm really excited for it. I know a lot of my friends who are lifelong Pokemon fans are also looking forward to it, and my co-host for My First Mon is also looking forward to exploring the new generation. But for argument's sake, let's say that there is some sort of division within the Pokemon community that continues throughout the rest of 2019 up until November. Well, in October of this year, Bandai Namco is releasing a collection of two very meaty JRPGs that are inspired by things like Persona. I get some Danganronpa vibes when I see the character interactions, and it's all centralized on Digimon. And while I said I've never been a huge fan of Digimon, I definitely have a nostalgia for some of those designs, like Terriermon. Terriermon's awesome. He's so cool. Like, if I could play a game with him being my partner the way Pikachu was my partner in Let's Go, sign me up for that. That's exciting. That's cool. Terriermon's a badass. So I think it's worth evaluating the fact that Bandai Namco is putting out a collection of two very well-reviewed and highly regarded Digimon games that have come out in the last few years on the Nintendo Switch a month before Pokemon drops their newest editions that are just marred with negativity right now. The fact that for $50 you're getting two full-length JRPGs, both exploring the Digimon digital world, having a turn-based battle system, monster evolution, collecting your team, forming your team, building them up across 2 separate campaigns, 2 distinct full-fledged games that both got $60 releases in the past, going up against Sword and Shield, 2 new games, but they're both, again, having some controversies. They're both essentially the same game. I think that is something that's going to, when people recognize what Digimon's package is going to have, could sway them one way or the other. Maybe they're still excited for Sword and Shield, but they're interested by the depth and breadth of this Digimon package, and they're more likely to pick it up now. I know for one thing that from people I've listened to online and podcasts I've listened to that have people who really champion these Cyber Sleuth games, they have me excited to actually dive into them and check them out. As someone who loved Persona 5 so much, it's one of my favorite games of all time now. Seeing the inspirations of that game in the way you explore your overworld, your real life dimension in the Digimon collection, it just screams Persona to me. Then you have the digital world, which for all intents and purposes would be the metaverse from Persona 5. You collect your Digimon to form your team the way you would collect your Personas. There's a lot of crossover there. Add in that flair of the Digimon cute and cool designs, which can rival a lot of Pokemon designs. I think you have some steam building up for a case where this Digimon collection performs above expectations. Throw in the fact that both of these Digimon games were real hits on the PlayStation Vita. They stood as sort of the answer to Pokemon on that console. Bringing over those fans, maybe if they want to revisit it, maybe if they got a Switch and prefer Digimon over Pokemon at this point, because these games are rated T. Digimon can deal with some darker things historically. Again, from what I'm familiar with on the show, Digimon can get into some darker tones, and Pokemon historically doesn't really get into that too much. They dabble with some more serious moments here or there, but Digimon can get dark. So I think when you compare side by side both the visual aspects, the depth of the game, the fact that it's 2 for less than the price of a full game, and it has that same monster collecting, leveling up grind that you'd expect from a Pokemon game. I think if Bandai Namco markets this right, and if they get the attention of these burned Pokemon fans, they're in for a successful second half of 2019, in my own personal opinion. If you think this game looks cool, if you have the same interest in it that I do as far as checking it out at some point goes, I think that alone is going to do well for the Digimon gaming brand. We know that next year Digimon Survive is coming, and obviously it has me interested. You probably saw a few days ago I made a Fire Emblem video. I have another one coming up soon. I put a couple hours into 3 Houses, and I'm loving it so far. So having a Digimon strategy game, if they could essentially blend Fire Emblem with Pokemon, but like it's Digimon, that appeals to me. So I think Digimon could have a very successful next 12 months when it comes to gaming, as long as they market it right. So what do you think about all of this? Are you a bigger fan of Digimon than I am? And if you are, what's your take on this? Do you think Digimon needs the success of the burned Pokemon fans? Do you think it's fine as is? And if you think there's people out there like me that are kind of mixed on Digimon and have little to no experience, do you think we should be excited for this game? Because from everything I've heard, we should be. And if you've stuck around this long, I appreciate it as always. Thank you for checking us out. We're so close to 800 subscribers. I feel like I have to add 100 to every update, every video I make. It's been a surreal month, and I'm very thankful, and so are all my friends who are behind me and helping out on JoyClicks. It's great to see. I'm super excited by it. Feels amazing. And I'll also shout out one more time, I did a Pokemon show earlier this year where I made my friend play Pokemon for the first time. So a 22-year-old in 2019 played Pokemon Blue for the first time in their life. It's a 10-episode series. I had a blast doing it. It's probably my favorite project I've ever worked on. And yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, if you're interested in Pokemon, and if you want to just stick around here for that, awesome. But that's going to do it, and until next time, as always, good vibes and good game.